Hey guys, this is Magic Lady Duchess, and today I'm going to be talking about the healing touch. I think touch is essential and is so important when healing through the healing process. That's why we anoint our candles and we use candle magic where we're touching taper candles and putting herbs and rubbing oils and drilling holes. It's touching. That's why we activate the tools that we use. It's touching. So the healing touch, it is essential. I think it releases a oxytocin in our body, oxytocin in our body, um, which accelerates endorphins and good things and good spiritual things, and it makes us happy. We're less depressed. Human touch is also like a energy therapy too that people get, and you can gently use your hand techniques and they kind of repattern your energy field, and it accelerates the healing of the body. That's why Reiki is so important. Healing touch is kind of based on the belief that human beings are in a field of energy, and that they are in constant interaction with others and the environment. The goal of the healing touch is to purposely use the energetic interaction between the healing touch practitioner, meaning me, and the patient to restore kind of like harmony in the patient's energy system. Why do I think that this is so important, right? Why do I think that healing touch is so important? Why? The reason why I say that is because when my father was sick with cancer, he is no longer here. He passed away in 2014. I remember my dad used to be in his time, he was a pimp and he worked construction. He had a bootleg house. He had quite several jobs. My father was also 86 when he passed, and he came from very humble beginnings, so to speak. So everything that he did, he had to learn it the hard way. Now, my dad knew so many people. He knew so many people, and everybody knew my dad. Everybody knew Mr. Nash and the stories that I could tell. And so, really, truly, after my mom passed away, my dad really got into like the gambling and the bootlegging and having a bootleg house, and people come over there and gamble and all this other stuff, right? And my dad got sick again. Now, my dad had pancreatic cancer 6 months after my mom passed away, of breast cancer that had metastasized all over her body. My dad went because he was not feeling so well, and we took him to the ER 12 hours later. They thought he had common bile duct cancer, but it was not common bile duct cancer. It was actually pancreatic cancer. He lived an additional 10 years. I think they gave him like 14, because my mom died in 2004 and he died in 2014. But he had been diagnosed maybe 5 years prior to that, and I literally kept him alive. My father died in my kitchen twice, and he died in my living room once. Real shit. That ain't no motherfucking joke. That's real shit. That happened. And the last time that they brought him back and they took him to the hospital, they were literally like, there's nothing that we can do. He was pooping white, and all his bodily functions and everything was like shutting down. They was like, you are a very sick man. And he was like, I know, I'm just trying to hold on. And you guys know the story with my dad and all of that, so I ain't gonna get into all of that. But my point about saying about human touch is that I have found, especially, is that my dad went from being around a whole bunch of people all the time to just being around me, my baby, and Damon and stuff. And I remember thinking, one day when I was getting ready to go to work, I remember thinking, when I leave him here with his aide, the only touch that he's going to get today is if she sponge bathe him or not. And so I made it a point to always hug him and tell him how much I loved him before I left, because my dad went from dealing with a whole bunch of people to like no people, with just me and my little small group. And I always felt like that if I didn't give him that might make him leave here sooner, because that touch is energy. We are energy, and we feed each other that. And I remember thinking that, like, dang, I didn't hug him today. Dang, I didn't tell him I loved him today, and I have to make sure that I do that. So that he could be okay somewhat or whatever. And so I just wanted to tell you guys that I know so many times that we say that, oh, I don't give a zero fucks, I don't care, they don't have to do that. But at the same time, touching, and I know that some people are like empaths and stuff too, and you're like, I don't like being around a person's energy. That's fine. If you be around a person and they don't have good energy, fucking leave. Don't fucking stay. And I don't mean to say fucking, but I did. Sorry. But don't leave. Just stay. But don't be afraid if the person really don't have bad energy. Like, I don't like people touching me. Because I can be like that. And I have to remember that sometimes we are the only God that people see. Meaning, not that you are God, the divine creator, but that you are a goddess. You are a God. So sometimes you might be the only God that people see in your house. So you need to handle yourself in a different kind of way than you would that if you was not that. I always have to be very cognizant of the platform that I have now, and I've never been more cognizant of it now or before as I am now, because I have a platform and I know people are looking for me to set the example or to set the tone. That's not easy sometimes, because no matter how good or how not perfect, but how you try your best to be everything for everybody, you're going to fail at that. And no matter how good you try to be based off your past or whatever the case may be, people will pull shit out the sky to try to make you feel a certain kind of way. People might say, oh, I'm stuck up, I'm conceited, whatever. I'm really not none of that. It's just that I'm very matter of fact. I think that a lot of people misconstrue that with me being a bitch or whatever. But you need to be that way about your own life, because maybe if you was about that about your own life like that, you probably would be a lot further along. But touch. Don't be afraid to touch people. Don't be afraid to hug and be affectionate. We need to learn how to be more affectionate. Even I struggle with that, being affectionate and connecting. And I connect on a spiritual level with people, but on a personal level, sometimes it's a struggle for me. Me being a Taurus, and we can be so fucking detached, loyal, and loving in a motherfucker. Don't you leave, but don't be in my face either. But so personal touch is good. I ain't saying feeling on people's booties and stuff like that. That ain't what I said. But I'm saying like therapeutic touch, acupuncture, massage therapy, Reiki. That's the human touch. Or even reaching out to hug somebody. You just don't know how much a hug can change somebody's life. This is how we activate things. We touch them. We put our hands on them. Magical tools. Everything. If you touch the broom and the broom come alive, then it's by your touch that it happened. So human touch is so essential. Don't be afraid to put your hand on somebody or to touch them. Remember to cleanse and cover and protect yourself always. So that ain't even what I'm saying. I'm saying human touch is so essential. It helps with depression. It helps with sickness. It helps with your mind. A hug can change some things. I had a very tough Friday. Last Friday, I had a few words with my sister, and then some more stuff had came to me, and it came to me back to back. And so my husband did not tell me that he had took a load coming that was going to deliver in Houston, but it was going to cause him to be home over the weekend. He didn't tell me that, right? So I'm on the phone, and all day stuff has just been happening, and I've been having to stop, center, ground, stop, center, ground, stop, center, ground. Look at things prospectively. Stop. Okay, what happened? What was the lesson in this? So this is a whole day of this, because even I have those days too, right? So I'm just like, okay. So my husband says to me, do you need a hug? And I'm like, hell yeah, I need a hug. So many hours later, I'm sitting here with the kids, and I'm talking about my stepdaughter and my stepson and my grandbaby. We all sitting in the living room, and we like watching a movie, and I think my son ordered pizza. And so I took a picture and I posted it on Facebook, and then my husband was like, that is beautiful. I love it. I have my little family there. I wish I was there. And I was like, I wish you was there too. I said, if for nothing else, a hug. So a couple of hours later, after he and I had that conversation, the code, because you have to put in the code to get in our house. You don't use the key. There's like a code. And so I hear it, and I'm like, is that my stepson? I was like, I thought, did he walk out? Did he leave out? And it's my husband. My husband had got a load coming to Houston, and so it caused him to be home for the weekend. And the first thing he does is he walks up to me and he give me a hug. And that made everything all right for me. All of a sudden, everything that I had stressed out about, everything that was like tripping me out that day. Because normally when things happen, I will process them that day and then I'm able to let them go. So when I wake up the next morning, I'm not in my feelings about that. I've let that go. And so I love my husband so much. So when he came in and he was like, "You need a hug, don't you?" And I was like, "Oh, I can't believe you came home." And so he hugs me and I'm smiling out hard, probably like I am right now. And it just seemed to make everything like evaporate and like leave, and all how I was feeling and my feelings about everything that I had heard and everything that had went on. It just, it fixed it. Like it literally fixed it. So that's what I'm saying about human touch. That's what it does. So if you're not too much, hug somebody. Shake somebody's hand. Say hello and grab their hand and say, "Hello, you're beautiful. Thank you. Blessings onto you." You'd be surprised about just how much that helps you magically and everything else. Remember, we are the tool that activates everything. We're the foundation core piece. We activate the tools. We're that energy. And so it's touch and healing and stuff like that. So I just thought that I've been wanting to do a video on human touch and how it affects everything. And I just thought that it was very prevalent to do it at this moment, do it at this time. I'm going to get back to doing more videos about magic per se and doing magic spells and stuff like that. But I think that it's really essential that we work on our self-love first, because if we love ourselves just a little bit more, then we will stop settling for so many things that are around us. Because some things sometimes are temporary and they're here to teach us a lesson, but we hold on to them like they're permanent. So it's just learning the self-love, learning how to trust yourself, learning how to own you and everything that you've done, because it creates the masterpiece that you will become. Okay? So many blessings unto you. Please check out my website, www.magicalladyduchess.com. That's MAGICKAL, ladyduchess.com, for readings, consultations, and for spiritual workings. Check out my online store. I sell everything now. And all of my products, from soaps to lotions, are the hemp and CBD oil, not the marijuana strand, but the medical side of it. And there's so many good healthy benefits with those too. I am going to start doing more videos in my store, because guess what, guys? Magical Lady Duchess is opening up her own store. I already signed the lease. No, I was not trying to put my business out there, because you know bitches already be trying to hicks me and everything else, but that shit ain't gonna work either. So anyway, Magical Lady Duchess Enterprises is growing, expanding, doing big and great things. And I just want to say thank you guys for everything. I will support the orders, everything. I appreciate it from the utmost. It humbles me. I started with $75 and I created all of this, but not without your help. So remember to hug somebody, to touch somebody. Be great and good, not just for yourself, but for the next person too. Many blessings to you guys, and Ashe.